Introduce a storyteller whose love of myths and legends is attracting visitors from near and far.
From the children of Lear to the great Cuchulainn, poet Sean Cuddy is using his talents to keep an old and ancient Irish tradition alive. But before we chat to Sean, let's see his storytelling in action.
Cuchulainn killed many men, and it was always foretold that it would be the sons and daughters of one of the men that he killed that would in turn kill him. Now, one of the men Cuchulainn struck down during the cattle raid of Cooley was a man by the name of Callaghan. Callaghan left behind a pregnant wife. She was also a sorceress, and when this sorceress gave birth, she gave birth to 3 daughters and 3 sons. And as she raised them, she instilled in them all the dark arts of sorcery. And she also instilled in them that when they were old enough, it was upon them to avenge their father's death.
Sean, you're very welcome to the 6 o'clock show. Now, we saw a snippet of it just there, but you perform your storytelling every Sunday in Dublin City Centre. Tell us all about the show.
Yes, indeed. So it's called Storytelling Performance of Irish Myths and Legends. It's one show at the moment, 4 p.m. till 5:30 p.m. I'm writing a book at the moment. I'm putting loads of collection of all of them together. Amazing. So I have a whole 90-minute show ready about Cuchulainn, ready to wheel out. If there's enough interest, I'll do that midweek. But for the moment, it's 3 stories I'm doing. Lugh against Balor of the Evil Eye, and then Cuchulainn and the Cattle Raid of Cooley, and then the Children of Lear as well. So that's the show I'm doing at the moment.
When did this start? Like, when did the storytelling gig start for you?
Do you know what? It's since I became a tour guide back in 2022. We started telling versions that are read online to the tourists. But my own creative writing instincts kicked in, you know. I was like, oh, I want to put my own spin on this. So I started doing that. Saw the great reception from the tourists, but also got me thinking, well, isn't it a shame that tourists are coming to Ireland and leaving Ireland with a better idea about these stories than a lot of Irish people have themselves? Because like many people, I just read these as childhood stories and then I kind of forgot about them until I became a tour guide. So I said, I want to bring this back to the whole country again, you know.
So you've got a great knack for kind of bringing your own personality and your own twist on those legendary stories. What informs that?
Yeah, I think I used to be a boxer, and it connected me to my shadow a little bit, like the kind of darker side, and I connected to that side to myself when I'm writing now. So that's how I express myself. I used to be athletically, now I do it with my writing. So I make a lot of, I use a lot, and then my poetic techniques that I learned, they come in as well. So I have quite a kind of dark style. The stories are definitely for like adults, I'd say, more than children. Some children have come to the show, but I think I write it for adults, you know. And so yeah, I'll make a lot of the same sounds, like for example, say like, she liked the darkness to be found deep in there when the sun had set, when the cold would caress her skin and make the hair stand on end, when the forest would breathe and rustle on her as she glided through its fingers. You see, there's lots of S sounds there, lots of same sounds repeating and stuff.
You're like luring everyone.
I know, I'm kind of,
come on in.
we're all captivated. Do you ever, like, obviously there's the big legends that a lot of us would be familiar with, but do you ever kind of seek out new stories that maybe older generations would know that have been passed down in the hope of, I guess, like, keeping them alive and passing them on?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, obviously these are very old and passed on. What comes to my mind when you said that, was just actually a colleague, the colleague I worked with, Gary, and then Wild Rover, the company I work with. Like his dad is like 90 something, and he still remembers an Ireland that was like not electrified, and when the Shanachie would come to visit before, and him talking about that, how you'd be all huddled into one room and you'd be with all the generations, and you'd be like transported away for a few moments. You probably had a hard life realistically, and so when you say that, that comes back to me the fact that we can still talk to people that were alive before electricity, before television and stuff like that. So that's what came to mind when you said that, you know.
Now, when it comes to great figures of Irish mythology and stories, there can only be 2 in our opinion, Fionn McCull and Cuchulainn.
They're the 2, man.
Have you got a favourite?
Absolutely do. Cuchulainn is my man. Cuchulainn's my man
Tell
for a
us
few
why.
reasons. So he would go into this battle rage, this battle spasm, and when he was under the influence of that, he was a danger to anyone, not just his enemies. And so that, to me, that's talking about the shadow, you know, the darker side of human nature. So he's the full spectrum. And I think we're fascinated by these characters. Like, if you look at like Batman, the Christian Bale, I think, did it best. When he's in the room with his allies, like, you're kind of worried, is he going to do something to his friends as well? And see the Game of Thrones characters as well, they're kind of grey characters. And so, like, again, when I was a boxer, I would feel a change in me. Like, I'm not coming into a boxing ring all happy and nice. You feel a change coming in you. And so when I saw that about Cuchulainn, it was so easy for me to write about what he was going through, because I was just drawing on my own well of experiences. And so, yeah, that's why I have a connection to him, you know.
It's really interesting, actually, that you mentioned Cuchulainn in the same sentence as the likes of the X-Men, because really they're the original kind of, you know, stories. Willa, How are you with the Irish legend and myth, and does this play any
You got a
part in your
favourite
life?
one?
I think it's great. I wouldn't be big on that, but it's something that, just watching the clip and listening to him, and like you said, you just kind of, it's like someone knocking on the door of encyclopedias that you don't want to buy, but you feel then signing up for 12 months. Like, the minute he started speaking, I was like, and he tells the story so well. You're intrigued, you're captivated, and you're involved. And I mean, yeah, definitely. I think it's great that you've got a young man like this keeping these stories alive. I mean, like, who else is telling them? Like, there's not a lot of people.
And like he said, we have a lot of tourists in Dublin, and then they leave with better knowledge of these stories than a lot of people that have gone to school here and lived here, would have.
Yeah.
But we were hoping you'd kind of give us a little story, if you don't mind.
Flavour.
Yeah. Just before I do it, I just want to say there isn't many people, but Candlelit Tales are people that are flying the flag very strongly. So if you ever come across them on the internet or at festivals, they're fantastic as well.
Okay.
Yeah, really not that many. But yeah, I can give you an excerpt if you want.
Go on, please, we're ready.
So yeah, this is the start of Lou against Balor of the Evil Eye, okay? Beyond the far-gone fogs of time, amidst the dark and mists we find prophecies, powers and painted faces in this clash of ancient races. Long, long ago, there existed a terrible race called the Fomorians. They were humans, yes, but also something else, blended with darkness and the shadow of the she. Eyes as dark as the eyes of a shark, teeth foiled into fangs. They fed and feasted on death and decay. They devoured the world as the winter night consumes day. A bottomless hunger they were driven by, could consume, to steal the very lifeblood of Eire from its river veins and its rolling plains. And our leader was Balor of the Evil Eye.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I'm a little scared, I'm not going to lie, but I love it.
Good, that's what I was going for.
Willa, what do you think?
I think it's brilliant.
I'll do the same deal you're doing, 12-month subscription. Listen, Sean Cuddy, pleasure to have you on. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. That was great. Love that.
Right, you can find tickets to Sean's show, Storytelling of Irish Myths and Legends, on eventbrite.com.
Coming up, it's time to relocate to the barbecue where Connor Spacey is serving up a veggie feast. We'll see you after the break.